All right, today we're going to build your personal toolkit for surviving and even thriving in the wild world of online information. We're going to break down some recent research to give you practical, proven strategies so you can become a smarter, more confident media consumer. Let's dive in.
So, does your social media feed ever feel like just a tidal wave of news, opinions, and, well, just stuff? You're scrolling and scrolling, and it's getting harder and harder to know what's real, what's biased, and what's just noise. If you've ever felt that, you are definitely not alone. You know, what's really interesting is a common thing that researchers hear. People say, I'm not a media practitioner, why do I need media literacy training? But here's the thing, in today's world, we're all publishers and we're all consumers. So these skills, they're absolutely essential for everybody.
Let's face it, we're all living in this incredibly complex information maze. It's packed with everything from genuine news to misinformation, disinformation, and now even those super convincing fakes powered by AI. Just understanding this environment is really the first step to navigating it successfully.
And this right here, this highlights a fascinating gap in how we think. The study we're looking at found that 80% of people believe the media has a major effect on society as a whole, but only 12% think it affects them personally. That disconnect is exactly why building our own personal toolkit is so incredibly important.
So let's get to it. Let's open up our toolkit and grab the very first tool, media literacy. You should think of this as the foundation of your entire kit. It's your first and probably your best line of defense against being misled online.
At its core, media literacy is all about empowerment. It's not just about passively consuming information, but about actively engaging with it. It's basically a four-part process that gives you a framework for, well, everything you see, read, and hear.
And here are those 4 steps in action. First, can you actually access the information? Simple enough. Second, can you analyze what it's really trying to say? Third, and this is the big one, can you evaluate if it's even trustworthy? And finally, can you communicate your own informed understanding to others? It's a whole cycle of active, engaged thinking.
Okay, time for our second tool. Now, if media literacy is the framework, critical thinking is the engine that actually powers the whole thing. It's that active process of questioning, of probing, and digging deeper instead of just taking information at face value.
Now, the researchers define it as a set of cognitive skills, but I like to think of it more simply as your internal fact checker. You know, it's that little voice in your head that just pipes up and asks, wait a minute, does that really make sense? Is there another side to this story? What's the evidence here?
So how do you actually put that engine to work? Well, this super practical checklist from the study can help. The next time you see a piece of content, just run it through these questions. Can you tell if it's a verifiable fact or if it's just someone's opinion? Is there maybe a political motive hiding in there? Is this actually satire? It's a really quick mental workout that can make all the difference. Let's just zoom in on one of the most fundamental skills on that checklist, telling the difference between a fact and an opinion. A fact can be verified, right? It can be proven or disproven with evidence. An opinion is a belief or a judgment. Mixing these two up is one of the fastest ways to get tangled in misinformation. So the most important question to ask is always, can this be proven? All right, so we've got our 2 main tools, media literacy and critical thinking. But here's the billion-dollar question that the researchers really wanted to answer. Do they actually make a difference? Does learning this stuff really help people, especially students, fight back against misinformation? And the answer is a clear yes. Absolutely. The researchers found a positive and statistically significant link between both media literacy and critical thinking skills and a student's ability to combat misinformation. Long story short, these tools work. They really do. But, and this is a really important but, the study also gives us a little dose of reality. While the connection is positive, the researchers describe the effect as partially realized. What does that mean? It means that while the tools are effective, our collective skill in using them is still very much a work in progress. There's always more to learn and more to practice. So, knowing that these skills are crucial, but also that we need to get better at them, where do we go from here? The great thing is, the study doesn't just point out the problem. It also suggests a clear path forward for educators, for students, really for all of us.
So here are the key recommendations. First, we need more public campaigns to show why these skills matter to everyone, not just journalists. Second, we've got to formally update school and university curriculums to teach these concepts directly. And third, we need to make it a community-wide effort, getting all kinds of organizations involved. It's really a call to action to build these toolkits for everyone.
So I'll leave you with this final thought.
You now have the blueprints for your very own digital toolkit. You've got the framework of media literacy, and you've got the engine of critical thinking. The only question left is, what's the next article, post, or video you're going to put to the test?